Okay, good morning. It's just gone 8 o'clock on a Friday morning, and I have no work today. I have a day off work. So this morning I'm heading out from Brightlingsea, where I've just left, and heading round to the Cone Estuary National Nature Reserve, which is a POTA Park 0659, and I'm going to be trying out a new pole that I've got, which is a Sotabeams Tactical HDS 7, something like 700, or it might be 7000 HDF, which is basically a shortened pole, 7 meters long, and trying it out because I've just bought it, and I've got a trip to Canada coming up a month today, as it happens, and I'm thinking of taking it to Canada with me, but it's a bit chunky. It's quite heavy compared to the alternative, which is to take my little cheap AliExpress vertical. But I'm also trying out a solution that I'm thinking of using for the Zygu G90 and the FX4CR, which I think are going to be the radios that I take with me. So only 20-watt radios, so that I can get away with kind of economising on the battery space and weight, using some 4 18650 batteries. More about that when I get there. But before I do that, I just got to get something off my chest. My not my previous video, but the one before that, where I was on the salt marshes not far from here with the Yaesu FT817 and 2.5 watts. One of the comments in there made reference to cool if you're using DX Phonetics or something like that, and made reference to not using international phonetics. And what they were referring to was, sometimes when I'm struggling to make a contact and get my call sign over, I find that the Whiskey Mike Golf, and in particular the Mike and the Golf in my suffix, kind of the hard sounding end to Mike and the hard beginning to Golf, sometimes confuse people, or they just can't quite get it. Now, with benefit of hindsight, it might not have been a good idea to choose Mike and Golf, but when I chose my call sign 20 odd years ago, I chose it for a reason I won't bore you with, but I didn't really think about it. So I certainly wouldn't choose that again in future. Anyway, the reason why I do it, and what I use instead is I substitute Whiskey Mike Golf for Washington, Mexico, Germany. And very often I'll find if I'm struggling to get Whiskey Mike Golf across, Washington, Mexico, Germany cuts through quite often first time. So the reason I do it is not because it's cool, but because the object surely is to get across your call sign. And I don't understand why people get so sort of hung up about it, get their knickers in a twist over it. And I think some of it is, in some people anyway, is they may come from a sort of a public service background, such as the military or the sort of paramedics, police service, whatever. And I've got an enormous amount of respect for the people that sort of keep us safe in our beds at night. But seriously, of all the things to worry about, that probably isn't one of them, or not in my view anyway. Don't get me wrong, I don't like the sort of schmaltzy phonetics, you know, and I can't think of an example at the moment, but you sometimes sort of hear them on air. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is just literally just getting your call sign across, which is the objective, is it not? So within reason, if it works, why wouldn't you do that? And we're not mandated either, certainly not in the UK, not mandated to use a particular phonetic alphabet. There's a recommended one, if you like, and that is Whiskey Mike Golf is my default position. That's what I start with. I only switch to Washington, Mexico, Germany if I have to. And the other thing to say as well is that it's not quite often the Washington, Mexico, Germany comes after the Whiskey Mike Golf, and I haven't left the Whiskey Mike Golf in there, and I've edited out in the process. And the reason for that is not to sort of give the impression that I make every contact that I make the first time round, but just because it's just probably not very interesting to watch. But I might do that at some point soon in order to illustrate my point, and then I'll make reference back to it. But anyway, rant over. I'm going to shut up about it now. Just got to show you around. Look, what a beautiful day. Okay, so this is the permitted landing zone. You've got the sign up there that says landing zone, and then you've got 2 arrows, so you're allowed to land within the 2 arrows. The other arrows the other side of the sign. Okay, we're probably about half an hour, 40 minutes from high tide, and I just saw a sign, and there's a sign bashed into the beach here. It says Little Turn Habitat Management, no access to the shingle spit or salt marsh, do not cross rope line. Well, there's no rope line, so I'm going to set up down here, which is below the high water mark, and I'm actually going to lash my pole to the post. Okay, so here's the pole, and it's quite a kind of low vis kind of colour, kind of an olive browny green colour. So it's 7 meters long. I've got the SOTA beams 1-to-1 balun here, not near the top. The idea is with this pole is to actually be able to use it for a dipole, but also for the vertical. And normally what I use is a sort of a 6 meter pole, so sort of shortened 6 meter pole. But the trouble is, it's not long enough to get the feed point at the optimum height above ground, so hence a 7 meter pole. And I use one of these on my sort of smaller poles, or smaller version of this, which is just made with MDF, and it's just got 4mm banana plugs, sockets for the radials to attach to, and obviously it slides over the top of the pole. So this is actually off my 40 meter quarter wave vertical, so it's got a larger diameter hole which just about fits. It's actually a little bit too big, it just about fits. So I've got everything to put the vertical up, but I'm actually going to put the dipole up, and sand is not really a great medium to be putting these poles up in, because if you get it into the joints it does sort of scratch around quite a bit, which so I want to try and avoid getting any sand in. But anyway, so I've got some cam straps to lash to the little post there, and I'm just going to take the ends of the dipole, so it's a link dipole, I'm just going to take them down, put some little bags with some sand in, and going straight down to the ground. So it's inverted V. I've got backstays with me as well, so I can elevate the ends, but I'm not going to bother doing that either. More than anything, I'm sort of just trying out the little batteries. Okay, so I've got the dipole up, and it's a link dipole, so at the moment I've got it configured for 40. It's leaning over a bit, that doesn't matter, but it's quite a sort of an acute angle. SWR is 1 to 1.5 or thereabouts, so it's pretty good. So I have got the G90 with me, but because the SWR is sort of where it is, I'm going to use the FX4CR, which doesn't have an ATU built in. And these are the batteries, which are 18650 batteries, and I've got 4 of them in there, and they're 3.7 volts each. So it's a nominal voltage, but when you put sort of the 4 together, you'll get more than that, and it's the voltage is a little bit too high to go into the FX4CR. It will handle it, but maybe not for a prolonged period of time. So I've got a little buck converter to which I've housed in heat shrink. Made a little hole there for the pot to adjust it. It should be about 14 volts, but I've got this little voltmeter thing here, which I've tested against a reliable multimeter, and it's pretty accurate. And so I can plug that in first, make sure that the voltage is safe before I plug the radio in. And I've got a set of 8 rather, so sort of like 2 lots of 4 from Amazon. That old Jeff Bezos, he does all right out of me. I've virtually paid for that super yacht. So while he's travelling around in a super yacht, I'm in a kayak. But it's not too shabby, is it? I might not be able to see that, but it's reading 13.9 volts. 2 Echo Zero Whiskey Mike Golf Portable, calling CQ and standing by. 2
Echo Zero Whiskey Mexico Germany portable 0 Mike 2 Alpha Victor Golf. You have 5 and 8 with me. 5 and 8. Name here is Willie, Northern Sweden, Mike QTH.
2 Echo Zero Whiskey Mike Golf Portable QRZ. Delta Lima 5 Mike Romeo Kilo. Thanks very much for coming back to the call. 5757, your report, Roger.
In the eastern part of Germany. Back to you. 3 Kilo Romeo, the call sign, the name descendant Carl, Kilo Alpha Romeo Lima, and QDH is Luxembourg. Your signal here is about between 5859, no problems at all.
Okay, so there's 3 contacts there in the log, including one into Luxembourg, which doesn't happen very often. Okay, I've just linked put the links together now, so it should be resonant on 40, but I'm just checking the SWR, and at 7160 SWR is around 1 to 2.2, which is a little bit higher than I would like, but normally I would have the ends elevated up, and I've just got it sort of pretty much touching the sand. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap the radio out, take the FX4CR out, and just use the Zygo G90, because it's got the ATU in it, rather than faff about with the ends.
CQ Protest, CQ Parks on the air. 2 Echo Zero Victor to Tango QRZ.
2 Echo Zero Whiskey Mike Golf Portable.
Right, the portable station, please.
GB0659 Cone Estuary National Nature Reserve, Essex, Roger.
QSR, got all that, Kevin. GB0659, and you're at 5 and 7 QSR.
Can't go sort of much further than or any further than the high water mark, because we've got nesting birds behind me on the nature reserve. So I just literally sat right down with the radio on top of the kayak, and running right by the water line. My feet are literally in the water, Roger.
Look at you, Kevin. That's a cracking setup, mate.
So there's 3 contacts on 20 and 1 on 40, and I think that will do me. Tide's on the turn now, although it's quite it's sort of pretty much shingle all the way out here. So one of the advantages of coming over here is that it's not particularly muddy. A lot of places around here are very muddy, so you've got a kind of a limited window at high tide where you can kind of pitch up. And this is okay here, but I'm just out enjoying the environment as much as anything. Just wanted to get a feel for that pole and decide whether or not I take that. The other sort of the alternative is the little AliExpress vertical that I've got, which for for using for the vertical. Obviously I'm using this for the dipole at the moment, but the idea is to use to be able to use the longer pole for the vertical with a raised counterpoise, 3 raised radials. But it's a bit hefty, so I think I will substitute portability and lightness of the little AliExpress vertical that's going to be ground mounted. But I'm quite pleased with the way that with the little batteries, because the charger for that is actually a USB charger, and I'll put a little picture up on the screen. The other sort of LifePo batteries that I've got, not only are the batteries are a lot heavier, you could face problems on the you know, transporting them on the plane, taking them to Canada, but also the chargers are sort of quite hefty. In fact, the LifePo batteries that I normally use have got like an intelligent charger, but you need a separate 12-volt DC input as well, so the charger and the battery kind of combined are a bit bulky. So but I need to sort of stress test them a little bit more, and sort of have some longer periods of operating. So I'm not going to charge those ones, and then I'm sort of going to keep a mental note of just roughly how long I've sort of operated with them, and I think I'll just take those to Canada, just the 2 sets, although I might invest in another couple of sets of 4. So there you go. So I'm going to slowly pack down and then just go for a bimble about. It's Mersey Island over there in the distance. Looks beautiful. And then over there, that's the Dengie Peninsula, and the River Blackwater goes all the way up there to the town of Malden, which would be quite a long paddle. So I'm going to head back to Brightlingsea. Right, let's take this lot down. No turns were disturbed in the making of this video. The pole collapsed. Can't remember what length it is exactly, but it comes with this neat little drawstring bag. So I've got my little bit of extra room in there as well, which I've got my little fiberglass poles in. I love looking around. You know, you come to places like this and there's nobody else. You can't see anybody else. Just that sort of feeling of kind of big open space and huge sky. That's why I love kayaking, I think. I love getting out in the open. I mean, it's nice this time of year, obviously, but even on a sort of a grey day where it's a bit cold, it can be just as nice. On a high tide, you can actually paddle over there, paddle over the top of that.